Hello everyone. Hello. I'm stepping up to do a talk about how to become a beer judge now. So just to give me some idea, the sort of level of people we've got here, so I know how to pitch it. Can you please stick your hand up if you are a brewer? Cool. At least we've got a lot of brewers here, which is what I expected, but you can never take these things for granted. Is there anyone here who is already a beer judge? I can't see any familiar faces. It's behind you! Oh, now I'm going to get called out. Well, I've got someone here to heckle me at least. Hi. So, about 6 years ago, I decided I wanted to up my game, start learning more about beer than what I was doing as just a home brewer. And I noticed that there was these weird competitions happening where people were sending in homebrew and getting it judged, and it seemed quite fun. So, read up a bit about it, got invited along to judge at the UK National, to steward at the UK National. And that was the first involvement in competitions and with judging scene in total. It let me get a feel for what happens behind the scenes, how this judging process takes place. And from that, I found myself really interested. It's like, this is something I want to be able to do. My palate isn't good enough, my skills aren't good enough, all these things. So what I did, I started chatting to some of the judges. One of them put a training course on in Bristol. And by going through that training course, I was able to develop my palate and develop those skills. So it's not something where you have to be perfect. The second you walk in somewhere, you develop these skills over time. They're not natural skills. So what do you have to do to become a beer judge? First off, I'd say the very best thing is to like beer. It does help. There are some beer judges who no longer like beer. And I think that was probably because they were put on the same tables every year with some nasty categories. But if you like beer, you're already one step ahead of most people. So what do? I'm currently about to kick off a training course in Cardiff just after Christmas. And what we'll be doing, we'll be going through with each of the candidates, explaining what sensory analysis is, how to taste beer, how to break that beer down and actually work out what you're getting. Because one of the hardest things to do if you're just a beer drinker is to actually work out what are all these flavours I'm getting in this beer. Where do they all come from? And if you're then responsible for reporting back to homebrewers saying, this is what your beer is, this is how it's laid out, this is how to improve it, you've got to be able to break the beer down like that. So if you don't know any qualified judges already, there's quite a few of them on site today. Just ask around and we'll get some training courses up and running. They don't cost any, well, they just cost whatever it costs for the beer that you're drinking, of course. So it's not like it's going to cost you the earth. We go through the beers, we explain. I'm BJCP trained. There are also guild judges who do slightly different judging procedures. There's cicerones, they do a lot of judging as well. There's experts who turn up and do things like, what was it, World Beer Awards?
World Beer Cup.
World Beer Cup. And each of them can do things to slightly different standards. The one, like I say, the one I know is BJCP. We break the beer down and show you how to assess it for appearance, mouthfeel, aroma, flavour and overall impression. And how to understand what the style guides actually are telling you. Because that's half the problem. There's all these words on this bit of paper that tell you what a beer should be. But if you're not aware of what each of those descriptors is, it doesn't actually help you. So, who would like to become a beer judge here, and who's just interested in what we do? So, that's people who'd like to start judging? Yeah? Sure. The first thing I'd suggest, get a beer. Sit down with it and take your time. Don't just neck it. Actually take time, get the beer in your mouth, let the beer warm up a bit in your mouth, breathe out, breathe in, sense what's happening in that beer. Actually get those flavours in your mouth, get the aromas in your nose, and make some notes. Say, yeah, this one I'm getting chocolate. But are you getting dark chocolate, white chocolate? Like, is it milk chocolate? And each stage, just trying out the game a bit when you're analysing it. A lot of things we tell candidates in courses is, it's not just what you're getting, it's what you're getting, what kind of it, and how much of it. So these are the descriptors you need to be able to build up over time. And they're the things that anyone who's good at tasting food, beer, or wine, can help you with. If you've got a mate who's got a slightly better palate than you have, sit down and drink a beer with them, and that'll knock your game off again. So what do you actually have to do to become a beer judge? First off, you have to convince people that you know enough about what you're doing to have them to ask you to come and do it. You could be a pro brewer. A lot of people invite pro brewers along to judge beer. They don't have to have, I'm getting attacked by the time. They don't have to have any qualifications, but their brewing experience gives them that knowledge that's needed. If you're not a pro brewer, you can become a BJCP judge. To do that, there's a simple online exam, which is just multiple choice, which will get you to the point where you can sit a tasting exam. The tasting exam is scary. You sit down in a room with 20 other people, you're given a beer and told, this is an English barley wine. Judge it. It's all closed book, so you have to have learned the bulk of the styles and what the styles are supposed to be. If you haven't learned that, your chances of scoring a beer accurately or giving good feedback on a beer when all you know is the style it is not likely to be good. So you have to study the style guides. You have to turn around and do basically an off-flavour session, because most people can know something is wrong with a beer. You've probably done it yourself. You've bought a beer somewhere, you've tried it, and there's something wrong with it. But can you actually say what the fault is? Can you describe it? Do you know what caused it? And that's the benefit of doing an off-flavour session. You sit there, you get to try beers that have been spiked in different compounds, so you can tell the difference between, say, heaps diacetyl, acetaldehyde, all these different faults and things that you normally don't want to do beer. You can describe them, you can understand what causes them, and you can explain and give good feedback to the brewer saying, this is what you need to do to stop that happening. So that's the next thing. So you've got the style guide knowledge, you've got the off-flavour knowledge. Then you have to be able to use quite flowery descriptors. And I'd say 30% of the hardness of being a judge is getting that vocabulary in the first place. Because if you're not able to, how can I put it? If you're not able to explain what you're getting in words on a bit of paper, then the feedback you give to brewers isn't going to be any use. They may look at it and go, oh, thanks, you described my beer lovely, but I don't know what I've got to do to make it better. And that's what a lot of people enter these competitions for. They want the feedback, they want the medals, but they also want to know how to get a better medal next time. So, after you've done that, like I say, you do the tasting exam, you sat down with a beer, this style, 15 minutes to judge that beer. You do that 6 times in one day. So you accurately judge 6 beers, you send off all the sheets to the States, they get graded. You might become a beer judge. That's when the work starts. Because passing that exam shows that you are competent to do the job. But it's like most jobs. You can pass an apprenticeship, but until you actually start doing more of it, you're not building up the skills that you need. You've got enough to put it on your CV, you've got enough to qualify, but then you've got to sit down and actually get some experience. Sit down with your beers. The score sheets we use to analyse any beer are all online. Anyone can pick them up and do them with any beer. You don't have to do that. You can do it on Untapped. Pick up a beer, drink it, describe it, and just exercise those muscles. Actually getting the experience of analysing the beer instead of drinking it. We all come out days like today, the beer's cold, we're cold, we neck the beer, we don't really take the time to enjoy it. But that's what you need to be doing. Whenever you have beer, spend that time with it. And that way, not only do you end up qualified as a judge, because you've done the exams, you've passed them, you're actually developing your own repertoire of vocabulary, experience, and that is what it all comes down to. When you start judging at competitions, like last night we did Best of Show for the Brewcon World Series, you have a beer put in front of you. What is it? You don't know, you've literally just got a category. You have to use all that experience you've built up, tasting these beers, trying these beers, brewing these beers, to turn around and give that feedback to the entrant. Without the feedback, beer judging is useless. It's nice saying, yeah, this beer is better than that one, but it doesn't help anyone in the way that we aim to. A lot of the feedback we give is about how to improve the beer, make it a better beer, as well as describe what's in front of us. So, exams, work, a lot of reading with the style guides, and a lot of drinking beer. Has anyone noticed any trend here with this drinking beer business? That's why I said it helps if you like beer. Because if you don't like beer, you're not going to put the hours in with beer that you need to become good at this. Okay, what can you do then? With the BJCP at least, there's different levels of experience you can gain. So you've done the basic exam, you've done 6 beers, you passed, you become a recognised BJCP beer judge. You get some more experience, and each time you judge at a competition, you'll earn judging experience points. And once you've got a few of them, you then become certified. And then that's as high as you go without having to sit another exam. The other exam's nasty. It's a written exam with 3 essays to write, and it looks very deeply at your knowledge of different styles. An example might be compare and contrast these 3 different styles, and you have to write an essay about what differences between them, how they compare, what the overall impression of one might be compared to the other. And you've no idea what styles you're going to get before you go in. You're going to get some technical questions in there. And there is currently only 2 national judges in the UK. There was 3, but one's just left the States. So we're down to 2, only one of them is currently active. So that shows you the sort of level. It's not something everyone aspires to, it's not something everyone can attain. But if you want to, people like Sarah Pantry, who's currently the only active UK national, is more than happy to help you all the way along, and sheds the guides he used when he was training for it. Beyond that, there's something called Grandmaster. So if you have judged at a lot of competitions, actually help out training new judges, help out in the running of the organisation, you'll become a Grandmaster. These are the people that get invited around the world to judge anywhere. So it's quite common for nationals to get invited to other countries in the same continent or whatever. When we get to Grandmaster, you tend to get a global travel ticket. People are like, oh, come down and judge with us in Australia. We haven't got many judges down here. Or South America's big now. There's a lot of brewing and a lot of new brewing interest happening over there. So these are the things you can do and the places you can go with beer judging. I could waffle on for a bit longer, but we haven't got long in here because the talks have all been bumped. So I'm going to leave 10 minutes for questions. where you tell me what you want to know, and I'll answer that instead of me try and cover something for everyone. So, any questions?
Yeah. If we're tasting beers and trying to go through the BJP scoring thing,
Yeah.
are there online scores for template scores for some of the commercial beers that we can compare with?
Gordon Strong, who's currently president of the BJCP, has done a lot of score sheets that are available on the website, and these are for commercially available beers. Some of them are a lot harder to get over here than in the States,
Yeah.
but they're fully detailed, giving you the whole breakdown, all the analysis and everything. And they, if you filled in a sheet like that for that beer, you would get the highest grades in any exam for it. So I remember off the top of my head, there's one there for Duval, which is easily available over here. Saison Dupont, there's one there, also easily available over here. But there's about 50 odd of them on the BJCP website, so you can literally just get the beer and taste along with that. I don't know where everyone knows or doesn't know me from. I'm a YouTuber, social media person, BJCP beer judge on my YouTube channel, Daft Cat Brewing. I've started doing some judging videos. One of the things I'm going to be doing is judge along beer with me. I'll tell you what beer to get. We'll sit down, it will be via the internet, and judge that beer, break it down, fill in a score sheet for it, and it'll be commercial beers that are easy to get in this country. Because I'm here, I'm not going to get stuff specially imported that no one else is going to be able to get. Does that one answer your question?
Perfect, thank you.
Sorry, back, so that hand go first.
How do you react to new styles? How quickly do you have like a style guideline for like New England or Brut IPAs and stuff like that?
That is, how can I put it? It's a controversial point because the answer used to be very slowly. When New England started becoming a thing, Lab did any IPA competition. They created a provisional style guide and submitted it to the BJCP, who then took months to ratify it. But now things have changed. They've introduced a thing called provisional styles, where they're moving a lot faster, putting new styles out as amendments or additions to the proper full-on style guide. So currently I believe we've got 4. We've got Catarina Sour, we've got New England IPA, there's New Zealand Pilsner, and I think there was one other category that I can't remember the name of off the top of my head. So a lot quicker we're moving on that sort of thing now. There is supposed to be, I've heard hints from Gordon, 2019 there will be a whole new style guide come out again. But with the addition of these provisional styles, it lets us add new styles in between editions, which are 2 to 4 years apart. There was another question here.
So if you become qualified as a judge, is there like a time commitment? Is there a certain amount of competitions you have to judge, or?
With the BJCP, to remain an active judge, you have to score some sort of experience points every 2 years.
Okay.
So that can be judging at one competition, stewarding somewhere, or doing a continuing education program. As long as you gain some sort of experience.
So it's not like one a month sort of thing or anything?
No, no. As long as you do one every 2 years, you're
right.
fine. Whereabouts in the country are you from?
North Wales.
Yeah, like me then, you'll find there isn't that many competitions about. You're always welcome to come and judge at the Welsh, or come along and help at the Welsh. I also run that, by the way. So, yeah, that's probably your closest major competition.
Okay.
So, yet to be decided for next year. It'll either be July or September. Hopefully I'll see you then.
All right.
Hi, my name is Thomas. I'm a president of the French club Les Forces du Malte in Toulouse, France. We're a homebrewer club.
Nice.
We are right now translating the 3,000 questions of the online BJCP exam.
There's a lot of them, isn't there?
We're in the correction zone. Yeah, there's lots of them. And the question is, how did all these styles were defined and by whom? Decided this beer is medium body, this one is like this.
They were basic.
The master.
I'm not sure exactly who it was, which person, but normally there's a committee set up each time they read the style guide with at least 3 different experienced BJCP judges who go through, we evaluate the style guide and go, is this still right for this style? Because beer's a constantly changing thing. What we thought of as an IPA yesterday isn't what we think of today, and it sure as heck isn't going to be what we think of tomorrow. If you go back and look at some of the styles like porter, that has changed. Our understanding and belief of porter has changed dramatically over the years. If you go inside Brew Lab, we've actually got an historical porter in there, brewed with yeast from 150-year-old shipwreck. So that will give you a sense of what porter used to be, rather than what we see everywhere now as porter. So they're re-evaluated every time by a committee of at least national or grandmaster judges.
For the tasting exam, how many beers are tasted? And do you have
6 beers.
Do you have a time scale to taste them for beer?
Yeah, you've got 15 minutes per beer for 6 beers. So you only, for the tasting exam, only categories up to 27 are included. So if you look at the style guide, you'll need to know 1 to 27 beers. But the tasting exam is all closed book. That's the only time you're ever expected to judge beer without the style guide in front of you. I don't understand why it is closed book.
You may not be able to say, but do they typically pick common styles for the
Yes
tasting
and no.
exam?
It all depends on how nice the person cooking the beers is. For instance, I've done the tasting exam twice. On the last one, we had a full of ZSB laced with vodka to make it too alcoholic. So that pushed it right out of the style, but they didn't lace it with enough vodka, so most of us didn't pick it up. So yeah, 6 beers, 15 minutes for you. Anyone else?
So the spots for the UK Nationals were gone like within hours of competition opening. So apart from raising awareness and other competitions to struggle with the getting judges in, so apart from raising awareness, what else can be done to get more beers judged?
I don't run the UK National, but I know the guys who have now taken it on. They have got some spaces left for volunteers, so if anyone still wants to get in, volunteer as a steward or a judge and you'll get some entries. But that's not common knowledge, but there you go. But the issue tends to be, if you've got, I think they set the limit at 400 this year for the UK National. If you've
My
got,
question was more on what can be done to get more judges and how much
Yeah.
raising awareness.
well, the issue isn't just the number of judges, because if you've got 400 or 500 beers to judge, finding somewhere that you can get enough people into, so it's actually not just the number of judges, it's also venue size, and there's a lot of logistics involved in judging 500 beers. What you can do, you can increase awareness, you can get more judges in. Lee's just arrived at the back. Give us a wave, Lee. Yeah, don't listen to him, isn't that? Lee's sorting out tasting exams down here in London. He's doing a lot to increase the awareness, increase the availability of judges down here. I'm running one up in Cardiff next year. I think I heard talk that there might be one happening up north this year, in this coming year as well. There's one in Worcester as well, isn't there, Lee? So, yeah, we're doing what we can to help increase the awareness. The fact you're all here is part of that. 2 years ago, this event didn't exist at all. Last year, Simon started it, and we tried to arrange to have a BJCP talk about judging and that here. Unfortunately, the last minute, Ali, who was doing it, couldn't make it, so it got cut. But that's why we're here today with the BJCP Theatre, trying to explain to you guys what we do, how we do it, and how you can be a part of it. Does that?
How do you train your palate without effectively turns itself into alcohol?
There is definitely an element of risk there. My best advice is don't train your palate on litres,
Thank you very much.
Train it on small samples.
Half litres.
It helps if you can get 2 or 3 of you together, because I mean, you open a bottle, then you can share it 3 ways or whatever. But yeah, there is a risk involved. If you're drinking a lot of beer, that's the elephant in the room. There is the risk of alcoholism taking in. If you feel you might be at risk, I'll advise not to start going down this route. Because it's not going to help.
There's sort of 2 questions that link together. So one is kind of what are your aspirations sort of for the future, but also you said that there's it's kind of US skewed. So kind of how do you encourage UK judges to kind of come into it?
Okay, we say talking about BJCP aspirations or mine?
Yeah. Well, your personal ones, but also
Okay.
how do you encourage people into the UK scene if US is primarily the leader?
The US is primarily the biggest numbers because that's where it all started. It is originally a US organisation that's now gone global. It still does have a focus in the US. And the American Homebrewers Association is the home of the BJCP. Obviously, with the size of the AHA, we're never going to come close to that in this country. But we are doing what we can to raise awareness. Ideally, in the next 2 years, I'd like to see at least 3 more national level judges in the UK. Because once we've got that, that then makes getting new judges and exams done a lot easier and a lot quicker. We're also trying to make sure there's exams scheduled regularly. League generally does 2 or 3 a year at the moment, I think.
About 2.
Yeah, so that was always the hardest part before. It would take so long to get an exam scheduled and graded. I think you still have to book an exams date about 9 months out at the moment. So it's getting to the point now where we're starting to just book exams in a build it and they will come style fashion. If we book an exam, then hopefully we'll have enough people turn up who want to do it. And that's what we're trying to do at the moment, is just build it up over here.
And
So,
what are your aspirations?
my aspirations, I'm doing a research again on the tasting exam in January, because you need to get more than 80 out of 100 to sit the national written exam. So I'm hovering just under that at the moment. So January, if Lee sets nice beers, I might get over that magic 80 so that I can then sit the written.
Right.
Personally, I'd like to get national, but I'm not going to cry if I don't, because we've got so many good candidates, people who are better than me.
Do you ever think there will be a UK version of it rather than America? Do you think we should do that?
I was going to say that earlier. So there is a guild of wine and beer judges that have been active in the UK for some years. They are aging and their numbers
We're all youngsters. Look at us.
There has been one here, and they have a slightly different philosophy on the way they judge. So they're very quick. A judge will judge, I think, 40, 50 beers in an hour. So it's very much a ranking system.
Yeah.
It's not a feedback system. It's on BJCP.
I'd certainly like to see the BJCP take a more active role in Europe, because at the moment Europe is just tacked onto the side of one of the American regions, so we're northeast.
Once you have a significant number of high-level judges, you start to ask a bit more time. I think nationals kind of recognise that that's what we start with. A few of those can then start running their own way, potentially also having more weight on the feedback of the beers, styles, things like that.
So one last question, and then I'll hand over to Lee.
So, obviously, I've become more and more interested in becoming a judge as the talk's gone on. What could you advise in preparation, you know, for exams and so on? What, other than liking beer and enjoying beer, what else?
Read
could
the
you do?
styles.
Just read the style guide.
Read the style guidelines. Once you've read them, read them again.
And
Then once you've read them again, have a beer and read them with the beer.
That's like good guidelines to me.
I mean, it honestly is a case that
yeah.
you need to know them to pass the exam.
Understand it, sort of thing.
If you once you pass that exam, you don't have to remember every last bit of them by any means. You're expected to judge with them in front of you. Sorry, I've got my back to you guys. But yeah, you do need to at least know the main salient points of each category to get through the door.
Yeah.
Okay.
Thanks.
Alright, thanks a lot for your time,
Thank you.
everyone.